Hi and welcome to APG5875, Introduction to Interpreting and Translation Studies. My name's Dr. Leah Gerber and I'm going to be your unit coordinator for this unit. In today's lecture we're going to look at what is translation studies, a few basic concepts, and also to talk very briefly about the way this unit will be run. I'm going to go over this information in more detail in our weekly workshop, so don't panic too much if you don't get everything straight away. But I just wanted to point out a couple of key resources that you need to be aware of for this unit, including the unit summary, which I'll distribute in class, the Moodle site, where you'll find all the information about the unit online, our unit guide, which contains all the information you need about the unit, including things on assessment, attendance, grievances, etc., and also information about your prescribed texts. Understanding the unit means what is the unit coordinator, for example, which is me, and also other lecturers might appear in this unit as well as tutors. We'll be having weekly webinars, and you're obviously watching one now, but I'll explain a little bit more about those in the workshops too. Very importantly, weekly readings and seminar-based activities. Workshops, which will appear for you in person. We'll have those every week for 2 hours. Assessments will also be discussed, and also your attendance. So all of this stuff is very important for you to know, but we will be drawing your attention to it in more detail in the workshop. In terms of the unit outcomes, these are the important things that you need to understand about this unit in terms of what you're going to take away from it. Obviously, it's an introductory unit, so we're going to look from the very early theories about translation studies up until the most contemporary ones. So you need to be able to identify and discuss these historical developments in interpreting and translation studies. Also to use a meta language, which is basically a specialised terminology to talk about translation studies in a way that other translation theorists discuss it. To also recognise T&I studies, as we refer to it, as an interdiscipline. This means that it takes influence from various different theories and approaches and concepts. To be able to conceptualise the various dimensions and uses of what we call pure translation studies, where we talk about translation studies from a very theoretical angle, as opposed to the applied branches of translation studies, which ask you to think about translation studies from a very practical perspective, so how you practice translation. To be able to discuss the key turns in translation studies, so this is simply a way of dividing up the various theoretical developments that have occurred over the years, and talking about those and their influences and their contexts. And to be able to articulate all of these approaches, not only in terms of the way we talk about theory from an intellectual or academic point of view, but also how we might think about those in terms of your own translation practice.